Hi, this is professional archer Sharon Carpenter, and you are listening to BowDivas podcast.
Hello, everybody. We're here with Julie. Say hello, Julie.
Hello.
And Annalisa.
Hi.
And this is Barb. And we are super happy to have this guest with us today. She is currently a women's pro shooter and very active in 3D archery. She has been very successful this year and has been on the podium at every ASA event so far. She recently won the third leg of the IBO Triple Crown and finished second overall in the IBO for 2016. Please welcome our guest tonight, Sharon Carpenter. Hi, Sharon.
Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
We're good. How are you?
We really appreciate you joining us.
Oh, not a problem. I'm glad you guys have me on. This is great.
Well, I would like to, I don't know a whole lot of background other than just seeing you in the shoot down over and over again. So could you give us a little bit about how you got started in archery? Where did all this start from?
Wow. Okay. Actually, this started back in my 20s, and my husband at the time was actually a avid hunter, and he shot with a bow. So I was very interested in that. My mom and dad were big hunters, but they were not into the shooting a bow. So I said I wanted to learn, and so I got into it for that and started shooting a bow, and then moved to the Ocala, Florida area, and heard about 3D archery, and so I went to my first tournament and thought it was pretty cool. I thought, oh, this is kind of fun, for an amateur thing and a hobby. And then went to my first ASA archery tournament in Gainesville, Florida, and was blown away of all the people that actually shot competitively and professionally and actually made money. And I was hooked. I was into that. I was like, 3D, love it. Yeah.
That's cool. So do you still hunt, or are you just strictly competitive now?
What year was your first 3D? Your first ASA?
3D, I won 2003.
Okay.
2003.
Okay.
And it was a women's bow hunter, and they actually only had 3 classes at the time: women's bow hunter, women's open, and women's pro. And that was it. That was the 3 classes you got to shoot in the women.
So you were hooked.
So now they have like 15 classes or 16 classes in the ASA for all the women. It's real.
And I'm sorry, Julie, you had a question too about the hunting.
Oh, do you still hunt, or are you strictly hooked on competition now?
No, I still hunt. I actually, I killed a hog. I think when I was 24, killed a 175-pound hog, and I've been hunting with a gun for a very long time with deer, and taken a couple of deer, couple of bucks with the gun, and I finally said, I'm not picking up another gun until I get one with my bow. Yeah. And finally, about 2 years ago, I had a friend, Tim Boynton, invited me to go to Ohio to hunt some major big bucks, and sure enough, he put me on a huge 12-point, 160 class, and shot about 20 yards with my biggest spot. That was 2 years ago.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I'm jealous.
Yeah. That was amazing.
I know. Who's this friend? When do we show up?
Can we be friends too?
Anyway, so, that's really interesting. So when did you move to the pro class?
I moved, let's see, I've been shooting pro for 9 years, and I was actually shooting a Hoyt bow at the time, and shot Hoyt for 2 years, and I'm sorry, let me repeat that. I've been shooting pro 13 years.
Awesome.
I believe in Matthews, I believe.
Okay, and I'm sorry, you're starting to break up a little again.
We're losing you.
We're losing you.
Uh-oh, not good.
So you said you've been shooting about, 13 years? Is that what you said? In the pro class.
Mm-hmm.
So did you go straight from
the pro class?
13.
So you started at bow hunter in the ASA. Did you go to the open first for a year or two, or just jump straight into it?
Actually, women's bow hunter for 2 years, and then I moved to the women's open and did that for 2 years. And then I said if a couple of my friends, Whitney Meadows and Margie Carter and Sonia Wright, if they all were going to move up to the women's pro, then I was going to move up. So actually they did, and I went ahead and Hoyt put me on their pro staff. So we all moved up together, and I've been there ever since. I've been shooting pro ever since.
Awesome.
Barb mentioned your podium finishes, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I did a little stalking today.
We always have to stalk.
And if I counted correctly, give or take a couple of times, but I think you've made the shoot down 22 times. Do you have any idea?
Oh, wow. Actually, no, I have no clue, but 22, that sounds pretty good, actually. I'll take that.
I could have counted that wrong, but I just went through and looked at the rank on ASA, and I just counted any of the top fives, and of course if there was a tie in there or whatever, but I think that's right.
Oh wow.
She doesn't.
And that would have been since 2000. Would that be since? And that's since 2011, I think, because that's as far back as the scores went that I could find.
Right, I believe 2000. I want to say 2010 is actually when I first placed on the podium.
Okay.
And that was with Matthews, and that was Florida, the Newberry shoot, and I took third. And I believe the 2 years or the year before that, I was shooting Hoyt, and I actually made, I think it was 5 out of 7 downs, but never made the podium. I didn't actually make the podium until I was shooting Matthews, and then it just went on from there. And matter of fact, this year has been the first year that I've made the podium at all the ASA, and that's actually been a goal line to make the podium for all the ASA shoots. So we've got one more to go. Hoping to be top 3.
You will.
Oh, I have no doubt.
You will. You will. So
I have a question. I'm kind of deviating from some of our list here, just out of curiosity. Watching the progression of shooters from where they begin and then where they are currently, is there, I don't know, is it like a switch just flips, or is it just a gradual learning curve that the more you do it, the better you get, and then all of a sudden you're dominating?
Oh, in the class itself?
Yeah. Or just in the sport itself, in the competitive aspect of it.
I actually have to say it's a lot of practice to progress the way that I have. It's really just a lot of practice, a lot of focus, and a lot of determination. But mainly it's practice. It's always judging the yardage and making shots and just constantly doing it over and over and over. And that has tended for me to go and be where I am now.
Okay.
Cool.
right. Tell us a little bit about your equipment setup.
People are interested. They like to know about that type of stuff.
I like to know.
Yeah.
Sure.
I do
well,
too.
Everybody knows that I've shot a Prestige for the longest time. That bow, I've always shot it amazingly. And this last year, I got away from it for a little bit and tried the Select Pro, and then ended back to the Prestige because I just shot it better. And I felt more comfortable with it. And started out again this year with it, and then finally got a Halon X and really liked it. It's a very good bow, very smooth, holds like a rock. So I've been shooting that. I shot it in Kentucky, and then all the IBOs, and finally I ended up getting another Halon X that I actually took to the IBO shoot and ended up winning it. But I also shoot steel arrows. I shoot PS-23s for ASA, and then the Zombie Slayers for IBO. I have a Shrewd scope with a XL sight on it. Let's see, a Hamsky rest, Shrewd stabilizers, and the release that I use is a Stan Just X, because it's a small release for females, and I absolutely love it.
With your scope, do you shoot with a lens or a clarifier?
Yes, I shoot actually a 6-power lens because I want to see what I'm aiming at. A lot of people don't like it due to the movement that you have.
Right.
But I don't move a whole lot, so it doesn't bother me. And I have to use a 2-clarifier to sharpen it up.
Gotcha.
And what poundage are you shooting?
I'm actually shooting 57 pounds. I went from 52 pounds last year to 57. I hit the gym hard when off season. I wanted to get a lot stronger, wanted to be able to pull more poundage to get faster speeds. So, yeah, I'm shooting, pulling up.
Are you
now.
feeling any stress in your shoulder at all from it? Or are you just ripped enough to Hulk them down there? Or are we hearing?
Well, actually, last year for shooting the Prestige, I actually was starting to feel issues with my shoulders and actually my left bicep. I said, I'm going to get back. I'm going to get in the gym. I'm going to get hard. I'm going to build the muscle up. And surprisingly, I'm not feeling a whole lot of strain, which makes me feel good because I was always worried about hurting myself.
Right.
So that's why I went to the gym and really pushed and did a 12-week training program, which made me go from 52 to 57 pounds and with no issues.
Awesome.
What types of exercises did you do to get to that point?
It was actually, I got on bodybuilding.com of all places, and Jamie Easton had this 12-week program where it's from head to toe. It's brutal. It starts from, I'm trying to think, 8 reps to, then you go to 12, then you go to 15 to 20, and it's biceps, triceps, back, shoulders. Any muscle in your body, she had it in that program, and she just broke it up. For the first week, I couldn't even lift my coffee cup.
That's what I was going to ask. Were you able to practice archery while you were doing this training? Because my husband and I used to go to the gym all the time. We no longer go to the gym because we're afraid that we'll be too sore or we won't perform even in practice. So now we're becoming soft and jelly-like, but
I actually still do. I actually still go to the gym, but I don't train nearly as hard as I do on the off season.
Okay.
And of course, from September, I wasn't shooting at all. I took the whole month off and then started to get back into it in October. But for a week, if I have to leave next week for a shoot, I'll do very, very light reps and cardio. I will not do anything hard to make those muscles weak because I'm going to end up shooting for the weekend, and I don't want my muscles weak.
Yeah, you don't want to tear them down.
So that's really that's really interesting though, because I think you're the first one we really had on that's incorporated
spoke about working
another workout routine along with their archery practice. And I'm sorry, the one you looked up on YouTube, was it specifically to help build shoulder strength or?
It was actually definitely shoulder strength because I actually broke my collarbone back in 2003, and it healed incorrectly, which made all the muscles, for some reason, it all went forward and created a lot of issues, tendonitis, bursitis in my shoulder, on my right shoulder. So I really wanted to strengthen the shoulder on the right side, but also all around to hold the bow, to be able to put more weight on the bow so it wouldn't move as much. Mm-hmm. So it's basically your back, your shoulders, your core. People don't realize how important your core is when you're actually shooting a bow. Mm-hmm. So it's helped me in every aspect for shooting archery, without a doubt.
I think so, because Sharon Carpenter's in the shoot down again.
Yeah, obviously.
What speed are you getting out of that 57 pounds in your protruding biceps?
Bulging biceps.
Actually, it's for ASA, it's shooting about 285, and for IBO, it's shooting 297.
Is that why you're shooting the two different arrows? Because of the different...
Yes.
Okay.
Because
I was going to ask
limit.
earlier, right?
And then your draw length?
26 and a half.
So you're getting incredible speed out of that 26 and a half.
How heavy is your arrow? Is it...
My ASA, I want to say, is actually going to be just over 300. I've got 80 grains in the front. And my IBO, actually, I'd actually have to ask Jack.
That's okay.
Yeah. I mean,
since we're on the subject, and you know, it sounds like you're really dedicated to working out and building your strength. Do you follow your nutrition very closely along with that?
Matter of fact, I do. I eat very healthy. I try to stay away from sweets. Now and again, I'll eat chocolate. I love chocolate. Anybody that says they don't, I don't believe them. Chocolate is amazing, but no, I eat salads, chicken, fish, all kinds of protein, carbs when you need it, because you do need carbs, but that's like brown rice and all that stuff. But yeah, Jack just looks at me sometimes and just can't believe how good I actually am and how strong without. Now and again, you know, I'll have some yogurt at Yogurt Mountain or one of those places. Can't help that. But basically, I stay on a pretty good diet.
Kudos to you.
Exactly. We always talk to these people and we like so underachieving here.
Yeah.
It's like,
now I have a new thing I feel like I've underachieved.
Yeah, exactly. As I sit here and suck on my Quick Trip Icy.
It is hard because but I think trying to think of the big picture of my goals and for shooting, and I think it all comes together. So I just try and stick with it.
And I was going to say, have you always done these routines, or has this routine? Do you really see the impact on your performance in archery?
I actually have seen it with the like I've always worked out, 4 times a week, and I just go in just to try and maintain what I have. But when I realized I was still kind of weak in shooting the bow and not getting the speed that I wanted, I said I really want to get some more poundage on the bow. And that's when I decided last year that I was really going to hit the gym hard, and it has. It's changed a lot. It's really helped my shooting a lot.
I just wish I had
Dang
the
it,
time.
Sharon.
I wish I had the time.
Well, here I'm sitting at the house alone all summer because I don't work during the summer. I'm thinking, oh,
I did
dang
go.
it. Now I feel like I need to go do something.
I did go walk, jog on the track one day.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's
dang
actually
it.
where I have a little bit of an advantage because I actually, my job is shooting. I actually sold my horse farm a couple years ago because I wanted to shoot full time. So I actually had the time to go to the gym and shoot, 2 times a day. I'm able to do that, where a lot of the women, they have jobs and they have kids, and that has to be their number one. So for me, right now, is shooting. That's my number one. That's it. That's all I have right now.
Right.
I don't have another job, just shooting.
Yeah, I had noticed that you had the horse business on Facebook. That's why I'd asked you where you lived, because you're in South Carolina now, right?
Correct. I moved here about 2 months ago with my fiance, Jeff.
Right.
Right. Congratulations, by the way.
Yes, congratulations.
Do you have
it was hard because I left my mom, and I've always been extremely close to my mom. The furthest I think I've ever been away from her was 3 hours. So 7 hours, it's a big difference. I don't get to see her as much as I'd like to. Yeah.
Maybe you can talk her into moving to South Carolina.
I'm sorry?
Could you talk her into moving? Maybe you could talk her into moving to South Carolina.
I'm trying. Every day I'm trying. But my brother's down in Naples, which with my niece, so she's kind of between both of us, and he wants her there and I want her there, so or I want her here.
Naples is awful beautiful. It's hard to get away from that, I bet.
Yeah,
I told her just to get a fifth wheel, and then she can come visit us both anytime she wants.
There you go. That works. You can just buy her one, right? Make it a gift.
I tell you what, if I keep doing the way I'm doing, I probably might.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you've been doing pretty well. We exchanged a few text messages, and you're like, I'm off to the IBO, and I'm like, well, good luck. And then next thing, Sharon won it. So tell us a little bit about that experience. Just, what was that, 2 weeks ago?
It wasn't very long ago.
It was weekend before last, wasn't it?
Actually, yeah, I think it was the week. Yeah, it was the weekend before. It was. I'm trying to remember, Pennsylvania, and it ended up being really good weather. But Jack and I we practiced real hard. He's luckily got his heart here. He got all the right arms. So we just 2 weeks. We really just focused on.
We're
Hey, Sharon, we're losing you.
hello.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I
you're,
can.
you're back.
You're back. So
I know. Now I'm trying to follow and good service. Can you hear me okay now?
Oh, yeah, real
yeah,
good.
that's
right?
real good.
Yeah.
Don't move.
Okay, you said you
I'll
guys.
backtrack. I think.
I think we lost you about when you said you and Jack were practicing really hard for the IBO, and then
And then
we
it
lost
kind of
Yeah.
Some of that, yeah. I was luckily he's got all the Reinhardts and all the Mackenzies, so being able to practice, and he's got 4 acres here, so he's got all the targets set up in the woods, and it's just like shooting a range. So
right.
really, we just focus on a new bow. How can
We're losing you again.
Yep.
I don't know. I can try and move the room, see if that helps.
Are you standing on one leg?
Standing on one leg,
Go.
one arm up in the air now.
There you go.
Go sit on the roof of the house. Hopefully there's not a thunderstorm.
Yeah, that's where Connie practices. She climbs up to the roof of the house
Or puts her targets
yeah,
up there or
puts her
something,
targets
doesn't
up
she?
there. But we know she gets up there to retrieve them.
You don't do that, do you?
Yeah, with the ladder. She actually would send me pictures of the ladder or putting the target up on the roof and practicing for Kentucky. And I just laugh at her. I was like, silly girl. But
Yeah.
if it helps, it helps. Absolutely. If I could get one up on the roof, I'd probably do it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, speaking of that,
But the I'd be
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. I'll hold it. I'll wait.
okay. Yeah, the IBO, it just everything's just sometimes when you get there and you start shooting and like 3 or 4 targets you get in, you just know that it's going to be a good weekend. And the yardage was coming, the shots were going off strong, and I just and it actually did come down to the wire against Cara Kelly. We were only a couple points apart, and she would take the lead, or she shoot an 8, and then I'd take the lead. It was a fight all the way up to the last target, and I actually shot an 8 on a 52-yard elk, and she had to just shoot a 10, and she would have got me, and she ended up shooting an 8, and we tied, and I got her by 111. That's
Wow.
how close it was.
Wow.
So they don't do a shoot-off in IBO, or?
No, there's no shoot-off in IBO, unless it's tied for 11s and tie score, then I think they have to have a tie target. I believe that's what they do.
Right. Okay.
But it's not like ASA. The top 5 go shoot and shoot 5 more targets.
Right.
It's 20 and 20 targets. Yeah.
What was it like being in your first ASA shoot down?
I was just hoping I could hold the bow in my hand. I was a nervous wreck. I don't even think I can barely remember. I remember it was in Gainesville, and I was shooting a Hoyt. And a matter of fact, my very first target was a black bear, and I pulled the shot so bad that it landed into a 14.
Oh, darn the luck!
But you didn't at the time.
Around, and I'm looking at everybody going, I didn't mean to do that. And of course, people told me later, you're supposed to say you meant to. But I barely remember any of the shots. I was shaking so bad. I was just like, please, just let me hit the target. Don't let me miss the target.
No
I was
kidding.
a mess.
How does that compare to when you make the shoot down now? You know, you've obviously done it several times, so
what are your
you still
nerve
nervous,
tricks?
Or what have you learned to do?
Yeah, I actually still get nervous. I don't know if it's more nerves or adrenaline, but it's nothing like when I first was making the shoot down.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I just try and stay focused on the target and not worry about everything else, and just try and really focus on that 10 or 12. But I think it's more adrenaline and the rush of trying to, if I'm in second and I'm trying to take first or third, second, it's just really adrenaline that's going through your body. I don't think it's much nerves anymore.
Right. I do have a question too about your yardage judging. You mentioned that you guys have both sets of targets, Reinhardt's and McKenzie's. Do you practice that daily, or is that incorporated with your day-to-day practice routine?
Every single day, every day. Everyone has a good shot. They can make good shots with their bow, but if they don't know the yardage, then that's not going to help them. So yardage judging is a must every single day. Sometimes we won't even take our bows out. We'll just take our rangefinders and we'll just go judge, and that's it.
Do you
leave
ever?
The bows and the,
Go ahead.
And just leave the bows in man cave and just judge. That's it.
Are you moving the targets around, or?
Yes, we move the targets. He's actually, matter of fact, we're going to be moving targets tomorrow. But yeah, he's amazing. He just he'll go out and move about 5 or 6 targets, and so we get different views.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to do that because my memory, I can actually remember the lanes sometimes that he has cut out.
Right.
So he has to move stuff and do different lanes because I remember that stuff. But it's yardage. I can't even say it enough. Yardage. You have to practice yardage.
Do you normally do like an animal recognition or ground judging or a bit of both, or?
I do a bit of both. I actually was at first I was a big ground judger. I would try and find like the women's bow hunter. I would try and find my 21st, and then when I moved up the class, women's open, then it was my 30. But I actually still in women's pro. I try and find my 30. And then my 40, and then I almost imagine these PVC pipes. I actually used to lay them on the ground, these white PVC pipes at 20, 25, 30, 35, and I would actually try and imagine them on the ground in front of the target. And that's how I started judging yardage. But now I try and do both. I try and look at the animal to see if I see any kind of contour or if I see the inserts or stuff like that to see, okay, is he around 40 or is he a little further? You can actually see muscle contour at certain yardages, and that also helps with yardage.
Okay, so you're talking about like the definitions that you're seeing on the animal.
Definition on the animal, yes.
Right.
That's cool.
Interesting. Well, yeah, you've obviously got it down pretty good. Do you keep track of your progress too at home? The reason I ask that is my husband shoots in senior pro, and we've been doing a lot of that, like to help him practice because it's something that he's just not on his own spend a lot of time with. So
I never used to, and then of course started dating Jack, and he gives me this blue book, and I never used to do this because you need to start writing down what you shot it for, what it ranged, and then just go back and look at everything. And you might have an animal that you keep missing 2 or 3 yards low, and it might be that same animal every time. So when you go to a shoot, you'll be like, oh, I keep missing this one up 2 yards, so I better add it up 2 yards. Like stuff like that. If you keep it in a book and you follow it, then it'll help you out in the long run.
Right. It'll help you pick up on your patterns and your tendencies.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
Exactly. And I never used to do that, and that has actually helped me a lot this year.
That's interesting to hear, and I'm glad to hear you see that because we've kind of, like, Jim and I have done the same thing, and we've noticed there's a couple of targets that he's almost always consistently about 2 yards short on. The hyena.
Mine this year is javelina. I've never had an issue with it before, but for some reason I'm judging it low and aiming low. So that's been my little news this year. Yeah. The javelina.
That dang diva javelina.
Well, and they probably stick it out there about 50 or 51 yards too, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, they always, they put them out in the next county.
Right. Well, earlier you mentioned being in the shoot down and how nervous you were at your first one, and now you think it's just more adrenaline. How do you handle like the mental pressure of competitive shooting? Maybe not just ASA, but IBO and the other aspects. Do you run a mental program?
Not really. I just I guess I've always been one to be able to I guess put things in the back of your mind and being able to focus on what I'm trying to do at that moment. Like everyday life. Everyone has it. They know they have issues or problems that are going on in your everyday life, but you have to learn how to put that in the back of your mind when you're trying to shoot, a 48-yard javelina or, a 50-yard medium deer, that kind of stuff. You just have to, I've always been able to put that in the back of my mind. I don't know how, but I've always been able to.
Right.
It's probably the healthy eating and the working out.
Yeah.
You don't have a cloudy mind.
Do you drink too, or
That's our solution.
A little wine.
maybe that's our focus problem.
Obviously, if we're recording at the beer
That's
pong
what I say.
table.
Exactly.
I say you got to do what works.
Well, I have a question for you. Have you ever had any professional coaching or anything like that?
I had this one girl back in Florida that was very good friends of mine, and they wanted to get her into shooting, so I ended up working with her some, and she actually was doing very well. I'm not against, I'd love to teach kids how to shoot. I absolutely love it. When we have time, if we're off the range in time, I love to go, because usually the pros go and work with the kids at 3 o'clock on Saturday. But we've been shooting so late that I haven't been able to get over there to shoot with the kids. But I really enjoy doing that when I can.
Yeah.
But like professionally coaching, I don't have a coaching, the level coach, the USA coach that they say that you should take to train people to shoot.
Right.
I have not done that yet. I'd like to. I really would. And actually, Jack is a level 4 or level 3 coach.
Is he?
He can teach me how to do that. Yeah.
Do you yourself
Maybe you could
get
give it
any
to you
coaching?
a discount.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
Work on it.
No, she'll make us work out and eat right.
I know. Dang it.
We need her.
I know.
Bad. Sharon, do you or have you ever had any coaching yourself? Do you have your own coach that works with you?
Matter of fact, a few years ago, I ended up going for a few sessions with Curtis Beverly.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually was the one that would, now that you mention it, the mental game. He is more of the mental game. He would basically just tell you know how to shoot, just do it. Just follow your steps.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on what you want to aim on and shoot it. And he just, and that was something I had to work on. I would get out to the range and I would have 3 or 4 targets to go. And in my mind, I started thinking, well, I can't shoot a 5. Don't shoot a 5. You only got 3 targets to go. Don't shoot another 8. And that was actually messing with my head.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finally took a step back and say, Sharon, you know what to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
Don't just focus on one target at a time. Don't worry about the next target. And it ended up helping me out in the long run. Now, of course, Jack is working with me, of course. He keeps saying, wait until I get the bill. But, so I guess you could say, yes, he is working with me. He has helped me a lot this year. And I think the more we keep working on certain things, the better I'm going to get. I really do.
That's awesome.
So are you taking him to the gym in exchange?
Well, actually, he does go. We try and go, 4 or 5 times a week. He used to go to the gym all the time. But, he's trying to get back into it a lot more like he used to be.
Okay. Well, there's no bill involved if you're trading.
Trade-off.
Yeah, that's a trade.
Exactly.
Sounds like you're good influences on each other.
We really do. We just, I can't even explain it. Like, if he's having a bad day shooting and I'm there to calm him down, I can bring him down. Or if I'm having a bad day, he does the same for me. So it just, and neither one of us has really been with somebody that actually shot archery. So it's different for both of us, and it's amazing. It's a really good feeling.
What about Bow Mechanic? Does he normally work on your equipment, or have you always tinkered with your own equipment?
I actually did have a couple of people help me back home in Florida, and then I finally decided to try and start working on my own stuff. And then Jack ended up sending me a message, and we got together, and he works on my stuff. He wants to work on it. He doesn't want me to do it. He just wants me to shoot the bow, which I want to learn. I want him to teach me, but he is basically the one that works on my bows.
It's nice to have. It is. My husband really helps me too. And I don't want to know, so I'm like, the less I have to worry about. If I had to think that there may be some camling, that's just another thing in my head that's going to throw my game off. So I don't want to know. Yeah. Which I don't, by the way.
He'll show me certain things, and but he enjoys working on my stuff, and if he wants to, so be it.
Yeah,
right.
I'm a mechanic. I'm not going to stop him. Here, go ahead, honey.
Right. No kidding.
Is there anyone else in your family besides Jack that shoots archery?
No, but it's funny you asked that, because my brother is actually just texted me a few days ago and said he wants to try and get into shooting. So we're going to try and set him up a bow and send one down to him.
That's great.
So we'll see if he takes it on. I would love for him to do it. That'd be great.
That would be great. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's always exciting when somebody
were you guys
shows
close?
An interest in it.
Yeah. Were you guys close as kids? Is there going to be like a friendly competition, or is it going to be really dirty?
We've always been very competitive, so I think it's going to be no holds bar. We're going to,
I kind of like that.
Go after it.
Yeah, I kind of like that. You'll have to keep us updated on that.
It'll be entertaining.
Absolutely. Well, it's even the same way with me and Jack. We're very competitive. It doesn't matter if it's bow shooting or a game of pool or darts on a board. We're
beer pong.
Beer pong.
Well, when you get to a certain level, I think both of you being pros, probably it is a harder thing to lose. So him being competitive with you is a good thing.
Right.
You said he messaged.
It's good competition.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Right. It keeps you on, like on your toes, on your edge. Yeah. Yeah. You said he messaged you, and is this what you said? Jack had messaged you. And is that what got your romance started?
Yes, matter of fact, it was after the ASA Classic last year, and we both actually had not so good weekends. I actually was leading shooter of the year and ended up losing it. Just I shot well, but Cara shot extremely well, and so it was kind of kind of sad, and I get this message. The funny thing was I didn't know who it was from, and I started reading this whole thing on Facebook Messenger, and it said that he had bought a bottle of Coke with my name on it.
Oh.
And I thought, I'm not going to lie, I was like, who is this wacko? And I ended up reading the whole thing when I got home. It turned out to be Jack Wallace, and it turned out he had gone through a divorce, and I had no idea. And from there, we just started talking as friends for like a month, and then I had him come down to visit, and it just went from there.
Oh, he said, "Dang girl, you're
cute." Had you really spent any time talking to him prior to the infamous message, or
the infamous?
We knew of each other, and we probably have said 4 or 5 words to each other all these years, and that's it. And he just said he was going to take a chance and sent me a message. And that's all it took.
Right.
And now we're engaged.
And you're engaged. Yeah. Have you set a date yet?
We need to put music to the background.
It's going to be next year. It is going to be next year, probably in the fall.
Yeah, in the off season.
Awesome.
Interfering with some hunting, probably.
Yeah, well, he had mentioned something about a honeymoon for hunting, and I said, I'll have to think about that one.
I bet you there's a preacher with as many people or is it ASA, somebody's an ordained minister, I bet. Yeah. I bet someone there is qualified to marry you.
There you go.
It doesn't take a whole lot to get ordained.
Jeremy
no,
Barrett,
I know.
a friend of ours, Jeremy Jarrett, is actually offered to marry us. And, of course, everyone's like, are you going to get married at a ASA competition? And I was like, no, it's probably going to be a little bit more private.
Oh.
Well, that's no fun.
That would be huge.
Right down the Javelina. Have the
Javelina altar.
Yeah. Shooting lane. Everybody bring their own stool.
Their own shooter stool to the wedding.
Everybody hold their stabilizers out, make an arch.
Right,
and Sharon
there you
can walk
go.
down through it.
Oh, man.
We leave it to us. We'll have it all
I
planned
was going to
for you.
say throw bags of pin knocks instead of rice, but those things are kind of expensive.
Oh, goodness.
Oh my gosh. There
Good
you
thing
go.
we're not party planners.
No worries, Sharon. We've got it taken care of.
Exactly.
Yep, okay. I'll leave it up to you guys.
You're gonna have a bouquet made of fletching and
We come at a real cheap price.
I will let Jack know.
Oh, good.
Oh gosh.
That's so good.
I know that would be. I really wish somebody would get married at an ASA now.
Talk her into
I
it.
really
Actually, that
do.
would be kind of cool now. I mean, it actually would be.
Yeah.
Be kind of,
Yeah. See, you're thinking about it now.
Talking about it.
Well, after it, and it's got all your friends there, and everybody would want to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few people ask if we would do it, and I was like, I don't know, guys. I don't know about that, but I can hear it now. People are going to hear this podcast.
See? She's going to be like, those damn BowDivas.
Anna Alicia's pretty creative too. We got to figure out how to make some things out of archery accessories.
Bridesmaid dresses.
There you go.
Let's go. Camo duct tape.
Everybody, wow, I can only imagine the things that are going to come up now.
No.
Uh-oh.
All in good fun.
So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.